Welcome in. Woo! No, I don't have my flag. It's in the car still. So I got a pumpkin, even though it's January. But yes, pumpkins are always fun.
They're never
we're the Honolulu Blues boys. We got all three of us today, of course. Who would miss this show? NFC Divisional Round preview, boys. I was kind of thinking about this a second ago. This is like the first time any Lions podcast, our podcast, whoever can preview a Lions divisional round game. And, you might think, well, the Lions, they were actually, I think that was the conference game. But anyways, back then there was no podcast. So there was no texting. That was another thing that on 97.1, they were like, you can actually text. The Lions won a playoff game now because texting was the thing back in 1992. So, Nick, you're rocking the Red Wings sweatshirt. Bummer after a tough loss last night, but still been hot in 2024.
Yeah, Red Wings are killing it, dude. 6-1-1 in January right now. Not only that, we're breaking stuff over here. 25 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting for the Tigers. We got a ton of stuff happening in Detroit sports, but nothing more pressing and more interesting, more exciting than the fucking Lions. Excuse my French. We're starting out early today. I'm going to be cussing all left and right today. I cannot believe it. We are 1 day away. We are 25 and a half hours away from kickoff for the fucking divisional round of the NFL. And we're playing. We're in it. An old school NFL Central divisional or NFC Central divisional matchup coming to light. I got a few stats, some good, some bad. We'll have some fun on this show, but let's go Red Wings, let's go Tigers, let's go Pistons, right? Let's get a couple more wins this year, I guess.
Yeah, Pistons we got a win the other day or something, so that was one in like the last 15, I think it was. So we cut it,
guys. Besides the 28 or 29 game losing streak and the 6 game losing streak, we're 3-2. So just to avoid those other losing streaks, and we got a winning record, bro. So what are we talking about?
Now, Julius, if I were to tell you, week 1, beginning of the season, hey man, we're playing Baker Mayfield and the Bucs in the divisional round, how hard would you have laughed? What? Not just because of the Lions. Not just
I wouldn't even have laughed, bro. I wouldn't even have laughed. I was hyped, bro. I've been hyped this whole season, bro. I predicted them to go 13-4. I was correct. Fuck the Cowboys. Fuck the refs. And I kind of, in my heart, knew this was possible. Now, my only fear was that one playoff win that we hadn't had in 3 decades. But once you get that, then you just go back to the pure talent of the team. And I'm ready for the Lions to fucking crush the Bucs this weekend. And what's going to be the most insane atmosphere the Lions and Detroit have seen since last week. 1 week, man. I'm right there. Even though I'm across the ocean, bro, I'm just filled with the energy, bro. And even over here, they know. They know over here. They see my Lions decal on the back of my truck. They see my Panay Sewell jersey in the PX. And they know that the Lions have arrived.
Julius, you're a little.
We're America's team, and we're the world's team.
Exactly, man. World's team, baby. You got to go spread the word over in Germany. Tell everyone that's I'm sure.
Know, bro. The NFL's pushing so strong in Europe that the games over here and everything going on. That's not by chance. They're really broadcasting on live TV. The Lions are, as we know, have been primetime darlings. So people all over the world are becoming fans of the Lions as we speak. They love Dan Campbell. They love our roster. They love what we love, bro. And they love Detroit, if you think about it. So
how could you not, We got Dan Campbell, the coach that's just everyone would die for, pretty much. You see one speech, he's got 50 of them out there where you'll just, oh my gosh, I need to run through a brick wall for this dude. I don't even know him, but we all, we know Dan Campbell, so it means a little more to us. But fans that just don't know Dan Campbell or the Lions, they see what we're doing, and it's kind of like what the Bills have been doing the last 5-6 years with Josh Allen, where they're just slowly gaining traction, becoming America's team, becoming the good guys. Well, it's going to be the Lions. Like this year, next year, everyone's backup team, everyone's like feel-good team, it's going to be the Lions. So, boys, like it or not, we're going to have lots more bandwagon fans. Unfortunately, I like how DC said it, man. If you're not on the train, it's already left the station. Bye-bye. Sorry, don't hop on now. And I agree with that, but there's definitely going to be some fans that are like, well, I don't care. I'm a fan anyways, which I do kind of appreciate.
Man, I tweeted out like in fucking September. I was like, if you aren't on the train right now, stay the fuck off of it. We don't want your fucking.
We already know. We got receipts. We already know.
Yeah, it's the Lions. Honestly, I want to compare it to the Cubs, but like the Cubs didn't. They just won their World Series. They had that. It all came in one season, essentially. It wasn't like kind of built up as opposed to how the Lions has been going. And it kind of died off fast. The Lions, I think everyone knows it's here to stay. Everyone knows what Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell is about. And it's going to keep going.
I love it. The Cubs thought they had that with Chris Bryant. They had Javi Baez. They had a ton of guys that I'm just drawing blanks on right now. But Anthony Rizzo. Yeah. But, you know, ultimately, baseball is a little bit different. You know, you can lose someone and players real quick. Where NFL, we built the foundation. Excuse me, I'm getting over this cold right now. But I think in the NFL, you can keep that foundation a little bit more than you can in baseball. So I do think you're right, Adam. I think we're here to stay. And that's why, in my opinion, we said this a long time ago. Brad Holmes didn't go after big names in the trade deadline and stuff because he knows he can't go trade for Montez Sweat and then pay him a bunch of money because we got to pay our foundational pieces. Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff's going to have to get paid. I mean, the dude probably deserves a statue right now. So, the Goff ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I love our foundation.
This is a great question.
Great question. Let's start this show out hot today, boys.
I'm going to start by answering it, and I'm going to say no. And the reason it's no, and I'm not concerned if we lose both Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, it's because Dan Campbell is not Nick Sirianni. I feel like Nick Sirianni does not command the locker room, the organization, the city of Philadelphia, the way that Dan Campbell leads the Lions and embodies the city and embodies the organization. It's just not comparable head coach wise, in my opinion. I know he went to a Super Bowl, but I think they just caught fire with a good roster last year, and the coordinators leaving exposed to Ronnie.
I'll jump in next, and I'll say there's a little concern in my head. In my head, there's a little concern losing both coordinators, especially maybe not so much more Ben Johnson, which I know everyone's like, he's the one you don't want to lose. I think we're grooming offensive coordinators in-house right now. I think we have a very good couple people ready to get primed and get ready to take that position when Benjo leaves. Losing Aaron Glenn, losing your defensive scheme and learning a whole new defensive scheme is a little bit harder, in my opinion, than learning a new offensive scheme, but that really isn't that new because he's been here. I don't know who would become our defensive coordinator. I don't know if we keep that in-house or if we go external and get someone. And I know people are like, Aaron Glenn, he's a bum, blah, blah, blah. Our defense is terrible. Have you seen CeeDee Lamb and Puka Nacua and Justin Jefferson? I don't know. I get it, guys. But we're a bend don't break defense, which I feel like that term is hated because Matt Patricia wanted to be a bend, but he was just a bend and break defense. We're a bend don't break defense, and we really are. We let up a lot of yards, but when it comes to red zone and everything tightens up, we saw it with Matt Stafford last week. We just were electric inside the red zone on defense, and I think it's just a little bit harder to replicate that getting a new defense coordinator. However, there are a lot of good defensive-minded people out there in the NFL right now that have an opportunity, that want to show we have a really good defense and a young core. All we need to do is add another edge rusher, another interior defensive lineman, and another cornerback, and we'll be really good. Our linebackers are pretty secure with Anzalone, Rodrigo, Campbell. So I'm a little nervous, but I am not worried of us becoming the Eagles by any means, and just because of what Julia said, we have the coach that will keep us going no matter what. So that's my opinion on it.
That's exactly right. Yeah, the coaching's very different. We have, Dan Campbell and Sirianni, very, very different coaches where Campbell can just, I feel like, command the locker room better. And yes, I will say if we lose both Glenn and Johnson, it'd be a little concerning just because losing two coordinators is tough. But you got to remember, Dan Campbell, I guess he did bring in Anthony Lynn, but it was more so we need a veteran coach to help this young coach out. And once Dan Campbell realized what the hell he was doing, he fired Anthony Lynn, and the Lions started looking better. And then he brought in Ben Johnson. So he found Ben Johnson. And then Aaron Glenn, that was his cornerbacks coach from the Saints. So it's not like this was a high-profile defensive guy, some smart dude that he brought along, a veteran, old head coach, whatever. It was, a cornerbacks coach that Dan Campbell knew, had confidence in. And turned out both of these guys could be head coaches within, 4 years, which if your head coach can create head coaches, that's a good sign. So it's like good. You got to take the good with the bad. If we do see both gone, we will get some draft picks with Aaron Glenn. I will say that'll be nice. But
we also need to run an Ancestry.com run on Ben Johnson. There's got to be 0.1% Native American in there or something. You know what I mean? There's got to be something where we can get 2 third rounds for him too. Someone run Ancestry.com. Someone run Ben Johnson's DNA through it, and let's see what we can find out of there, because there's got to be something more than just Caucasian in there. So hopefully we get a couple third rounds for that guy too.
All right, boys. How do you think the secondary is going to hold up against Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? Because both these guys are, solid wide receivers. Probably could both be wide receiver ones on most teams, maybe half teams. But anyways, both very good. And then not to mention, they had these two random-ass dudes, David Moore and Trey Palmer, kind of just go off last week against the Eagles, where they made them look like, legit weapons. And Trey Palmer being a rookie, David Moore, a bounce around guy that's been in the league. I even think he was on the Lions for a quick second. But ultimately, I think Mike Evans, just let him do his thing. We've done this the last 3 weeks. It started out with CeeDee Lamb, 150 yards at maybe more, and a touchdown. And then it was Justin Jefferson had 150 yards at a touchdown. And then it was Puka Nacua, 150 yards at a touchdown. Well, we've won all 3 of those games. Aaron Glenn knows something. He knows, hey, if we just let that go and stop other things or whatever he thinks deems more important, I think it'll work. So if Mike Evans does have a big day, which he can, I'm not too worried. Even if he comes out hot, I'm not too worried.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm worried, but in the overall scheme of the game, I just think the Lions are healthy. They're firing on all cylinders. Now, the Lions, last time they played the Bucs, I'm going off last time. They played them on the road. At the time, the Bucs were one of the hottest teams in the NFL to start the season. They were 3-1. It obviously wasn't a fluke because they went on to go a hot streak to end the season to win the division and go to the playoffs. And now they're here facing us. They stopped us running the ball that first game we played them. We passed the ball on them. Jared Goff had one of his best games of the season offensively. As far as, I don't think one of those receivers were playing in that game, if I'm not
Mike
mistaken.
Evans.
Mike Evans wasn't playing. Mike Evans is a huge target. He could have a huge.
They both played.
Oh, I thought Mike Evans did not play.
Did they both play?
I don't think Mike Evans played, but I could be wrong. Someone in the comments, let me know. Let us know. Adam's
real. If we shut down Mike Evans, then I'm just going to renege on what I'm saying right now about how
Mike Evans. 4 for 49, 10 targets. Chris Godwin 6 for 77, 7 targets.
Okay, I was wrong.
We made him really well. I think we pass rush Baker pretty good. I mean, that's the key to, in my opinion, is our blitz game. Aaron Glenn and his game plan. I think he brings it. I think he's trying to get a job right now, just like Ben Johnson, and he's going to bring a good game plan to take away really the only threat to the Lions' NFC Championship hopes.
So I love that we have a ton of questions coming in. Anyone who's watching, shout out whatever questions you want. We're going to try to get to every single one of them. That's what today's show seems like it's about to be, which is fucking awesome. We appreciate it, and we love you guys. To answer this question below, I think our secondary is going to be rough if we don't get to Baker. The reason Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers scored 6 points last time we played him was because we had high pressure on him. Baker had a lot of, if you go back to that game, and now that I started thinking about it, now I remember Evans playing, because there was a couple open plays where Evans and Godwin were both very open, but Baker couldn't get a good pass off. And that's, that's due to our pass rush at the time without James Houston, that I see a question about James Houston. We'll get to that. So I think that the wide receivers are going to have a day. I don't think it's fair to say that. I don't think it's wrong to say that they're not going to have a day. Also, the Buccaneers, if we look off the last game we played, I don't think you can do that, because the last time the Bucs played the Philadelphia Eagles, the Eagles smoked them, stomped them. Week 3, I think it was, Monday night, I think it was, and they ripped them apart. And then it was vice versa. So it's a whole different Buccaneers team. So I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I am confident, but I do think Mike Evans and Chris Godwin have a bit of a day. And that's just kind of how our defense runs. We're a bend, don't break. I've said it before, and I'll say it again.
Yeah, I think every Lions fan's got the same feeling about this Bucs game as they did last time we played the Bucs. Both teams were hot. Bucs were 3-2 coming off a loss. Lions were 5-1. Bucs were actually coming off a bye. And Lions were 5-1. And it was in Tampa Bay, so everyone's like, oh, these Lions, maybe they're due for another loss. Well, Lions came in and steamrolled. 20-6 victory. We didn't have Jahmyr Gibbs, didn't have Branch. Dave Montgomery had 6 carries, then went out with an injury. So if we just play this game like a B quality game, we should have no problem beating the Bucs. If Jared Goff turns the ball over once, we should probably still beat him. Now, twice, if we have 2 turnovers and they don't have any, then that's where, oh boy, all right, this could be interesting. But as long as the Lions just don't turn the ball over and just play a smart game, Dan Campbell, if we're, take the points when you can. That's my motto for this game. I get Dan Gamble. I like it. I like going for it. But there's a couple times where in this game, just take the points, because I feel like our defense will come through more than their defense will. And I feel like our offense will give us more opportunities. And if we get down in the red zone 3 straight times, I mean, nothing wrong with taking 3 straight field goals, but it would be tough. So ultimately, let's dive into the Achilles heel.
Hercules. I'm just joking.
I honestly think it's turnovers. I think that's the only way the Lions could really get themselves in a lot of trouble, is if Goff throws an interception, Montgomery a fumble, something stupid. It happens all the time. Players, are getting smart about punching the ball out, and you can't really stop that sometimes. So there's certain plays where it's like, if a defensive player makes a play, you can't really stop it. So as long as the Lions keep the turnover battle under control, if we turn over once, make them turn over twice. We got Baker Mayfield. He's not, the best quarterback in the world. I know he looked good last week, but it was against Matt Patricia. And then you have to remember week 17 and 18, actually. Bucs had a chance to win the division week 17 against the Saints. Home, they lost.
Oh, wow.
Week 18, Bucs, all they got to do, win, and the division's theirs. They go up 6-0. Panthers drive down the field late in the third quarter, and I believe it was DJ Chark who fumbled out of the end zone, the old reversal touchback scenario that CeeDee Lamb did to us, giving the Bucs the ball back. They marched down, kicked a field goal, and won the game 9-0. So if you are beating the Bucs 9-0 and not just beating here we go, commercials, not just beating the hell out of them, then I am not too worried. This is a different Lions team, and I think we're going to smack them.
Julius, you got an Achilles heel?
I mean, it got to be cornerbacks. I mean, of all positions on the team, that goes back to the last question, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, they either one or both of them could go off because we're so weak there. It's all about our pass rush, and if we can get to Baker Mayfield. Offensively, Adam's 100% right. We turn the ball over. That's really the only way, because our pass run balance is the best in football. You could say it's San Francisco, but I say it's Detroit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm gonna say the cornerbacks for that answer. Yeah.
I think it's pretty low-hanging fruit to take the cornerbacks, because I think it's the most obvious, easy answer. So but honestly, this whole time I'm trying to. I think Adam's right. The Achilles heel would have to be the turnovers. The turnover battle. whether that's us getting turnovers or us like giving turnovers, we have to just win that battle. And if we lose that battle, that would be the Achilles heel. Like we've seen games where Goff just isn't on point. Luckily, most of those games are on the road. This game is at home, and at home, Goff is just another animal. He's a different breed. So honestly, I don't fucking think we have an Achilles heel. Like, I think we're so fucking good. I'll answer this by trying to give one more what could be the Achilles heel. Okay. And we love Dan Campbell, but it could be Dan Campbell's aggressiveness. Now, not to say it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying that could be the Achilles heel if he does a couple questionable, aggressive plays that don't hit home. That could end up being it. I don't foresee it. And you guys already took the best two answers with secondary and turnovers. So I'm just trying to think of something different here. So that's what I would go with, would be Dan Campbell's aggressiveness. But I don't think that's going to be our Achilles heel. But it could be. It could be. Let's get to the next question, eh? What did I see here? Where was the James Houston one? Give me the James Houston question right here.
Here we go. How many stabs will James Houston? Oh.
Someone else put it up.
Oh my gosh. Now
we're losing it.
How many stabs will James Houston play? Here it is. Houston, this has been such an up and down roller coaster because last year we saw like 8.5 sacks in like 7 games, and this dude looked like a freak. And then week 1, this against the Chiefs, he played a little bit, but wasn't crazy involved. And then, boom, week 2, literally snaps his ankle on special teams where, please, Dan Campbell, don't put him back out to get him warmed up or acclimated back in there. Just no good players on the special teams, all right? So Houston snaps his ankle on special teams and then takes just, a long time to get back. The Lions flip his IR window open, activate the 21-day window, and it gets down to the very last day until we activate him. And then we finally do. We activate Houston, and then we cut Julian Okora, which kind of stinks because, I like Okora, but I'm sure he'll be back in some way because the Lions are smart with that. But ultimately, Houston, last week, practiced full all week long, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It seemed like he was going to get activated and then was deemed out early on. Shocked a lot of Lions fans, but we moved on, and now we get this news this week. He is activated. He still is questionable. He still may not even play, but he does have a roster spot. That's what's going on right now. So for me, I do think he will play. I don't think it will be a lot. I think it'll be probably like 7 snaps, maybe around 7 to 10, I would say. It's just going to be designed. Just get in there, go be you. And if he makes a play, if he does it. So you just got to hope that he makes something happen on those 7 snaps. But luckily, it's James Houston. We've seen him, and he's kind of that type of player that 2 of those could be sacks. 3 of those could be sacks. None of those could be sacks. But ultimately, I think we see a little bit of Houston. What do you think, Julius?
I think I'm going to go back to what I thought last week with Laporta. If he's activated and he's going to be on the 50 and he's going to be on the game day roster against the Bucs, Dan Campbell intends on using him in some way. It might be 10 snaps, it might be 20, it might be third and long, pass rush only situations. But if he's activated and he's on the roster and he's in uniform to start the game, hey, we might see him get a sack. He might get a sack on 10 snaps. Don't that sound like James Houston to y'all? He sparingly he shows up, but when he shows up, he shows up. So that's pretty much, like it might be 10, it might be 20, but if he suits up, Dan Campbell thinks he can help, and he probably can.
Okay, so I went back. While you guys were talking, I went back and grabbed this. In 2022, James Houston's first game of the season was in Week 12. He played in 5 snaps. He had 2 sacks. That's pretty good. Okay, so I don't think we need Houston to have 40 snaps, 30 snaps, even 20 snaps, which I know it's like that's kind of where we want him to be at. But right now, and Aiden Hutchinson said this this week. He asked about James Houston. He said, it's good to see him back. It looks like he's going to be on a limited snap count. Or he said, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but it was in that tone. It was in that sense. I do think 5 to 10 snaps is what we see from James Houston. But I also think inside those 5 to 10 snaps, we get a sack. Now, what I don't want to see is what we were trying to do with him at the very beginning of the year, which was have him play these snaps and cover edge and play him on special teams and have him cover gunners and have him cover. Stop that. Just rush him. Just rush him. Use him as a full-on pass rusher. Get to the quarterback. Hutchinson has been on a fucking tear since Aleem McNeil has come back, since old Buttercup comes back, right? 3 games, like 7 sacks or something like that. I don't know what it is, but it's something nuts. Let him keep doing that. And let Aleem keep taking the running back away. Rashad White, take his under of rushing attempts. I took under 15.5 rushing attempts this week. Do it. James Houston, let him play 5 to 10 snaps. We'll call it 7. We'll just call it right in the middle. We'll say 7 snaps and see if we can get 1 sack. I'm not looking for 2 sacks on 5 snaps. That's pretty fucking ridiculous. But if we can just get like 7 snaps from him with 1 sack, that sack will be a huge sack whenever it's on 3rd down, 2nd down, 1st down. It does not 4th down. It doesn't matter. It'll be crucial whenever it happens. And we can almost account for Hutch to get his 1 sack, hopefully this week as well. Don't let Hutch have to be the only player on the defensive line that can get to the quarterback. Let James Houston come in here and get his sack, but we don't need to see him a ton. So to answer the original question, I'm going to say 7 snaps.
I like it.
There's another one. This isn't so much a question, but I want to go back to this. This is one of the first comments, and I'm going to propose a question about the other game happening in the NFC because of this. Shout out Matt Williams. Me and him and our friend Carl did a fantasy football podcast for a few years. Awesome guy. If you like gambling, sports betting, or baseball, follow Matt Williams. He is the man. But he says go Pack go, okay? Because he's a big Packers fan. But I want to propose the question based on this comment of who are you rooting for, San Francisco or Green Bay, and why? And I'm going to start the answer. I'm starting the answer, Adam. You can quiet down. I'm just joking. I'm sure. But I am going to start this answer. I want the Packers to win because I want a home field game for the NFC Championship game. But I'm going to say this, guys. If it was guaranteed to be in Detroit, if we were the 1 seed, right, and it was still Packers versus Niners, is it crazy to say that I'd almost rather play the 49ers because I think we match up better against them? And if we can CMC has never played a top 5 rushing defense this year. He has not played a top 5 rushing defense this year. We have the best rushing defense in the NFL. Some people would argue it's the Bears because they got like a few less yards than us. But who are the Bears? Bears don't even who the fuck are the Bears? So I get it, right? I get it. I see this comment down here from Mick Crankshank. What an awesome name, dude, my man. But yes, I want the Packers to win so we can have home field advantage in the NFC Championship game. But I think we stack up better against the 49ers. And even if we go on the road to Jared Goff's home state, where he's from, I think it would be a little the Packers fucking scare me. Jordan Love looks so good right now. He looks better than Aaron Rodgers ever has. Throwing off the back foot to Dontavian Wicks and Romeo Doubs, he's doing just what Aaron Rodgers used to do with guys like Jordy Nelson and Devontae Adams, who was a nobody before Aaron Rodgers threw him 13 touchdowns in his second season. Jordan Love looks really good. And you can stop Aaron Jones, and Jordan Love can still beat you. I think if you stop CMC, Brock Purdy's going to have a really hard time beating you. I just want to say my piece on that, and I want to see what you guys have to say. But yes, to answer the original question that I proposed, I do want the Packers to win. I will be rooting for the Packers this week.
Yeah, I think it's easy Packers. Definitely want to have the opportunity to get back at Ford Field next week, which would be just insane. But ultimately, I think Jordan Love has looked a lot better, but everyone's saying, oh my God, he might be, I don't know if I would take him over or CJ Stroud. He's playing so good. Jordan Love, he looks like, the next Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love looks better than Aaron. Oh, no. He looked good in a few games, we've seen Jordan Love just airmail guys time after time. And yes, he can make the right throws. And honestly, what I think he has going for him the most is he's got a killer wide receiver core. I think just all these guys are solid, just B wide receivers. And it's very similar to what the Lions had like year one, halfway through year two, when Amon-Ra was good, not like his great, what we see him now. And I think Jordan Love against, last week, the Cowboys, you get 2 interceptions, one being a pick 6. We know who the Cowboys are. They're choke artists. Mike McCarthy, I don't even know why he's coming back. But honestly, like that could have been, whoever the quarterback was, if they had that performance, it wouldn't have impressed me just because of the Cowboys, just because their defense has not looked good. They had, I think Stephen Gilmore got banged up, and they didn't, not as high on Jordan Love. I don't know. That might be my little Packers hater coming in, but ultimately, I don't think Jordan Love is this new, coming Messiah. I think the Bears, if they get Caleb Williams this year, I think Caleb Williams will be a better quarterback his first year than Jordan Love is year 4 or 5, whatever year he is on next year. Bold take. But Julius, what are some of your thoughts on this Packers?
Give me the Packers, and this is why. I really don't care for San Francisco. I really don't. It'd be great. It'd just be overall great to have another home game at Ford Field in the playoffs. I mean, you just cannot pass up another home game. And it's not just any old home game. It's against the Packers, the Green Bay Packers, who have been the Lions' thorn in the ass for the last 30 years. And here themselves come once again, talking about how they got a third straight future Hall of Fame quarterback to challenge the Lions and the grit that we possess. They caught themselves embarrassing us on was it Thanksgiving? Yeah, they caught themselves embarrassing us on Thanksgiving. That kind of jump-started their little roll that they're on that propelled them to the playoffs. So it's a revenge game in a way for us. It's always a revenge game against Green Bay. Think about all the shitty times we had against the Packers. Come to Ford Field for the NFC Championship game, Packers. Come to that, boy. It's going to be so lit. I can't pass that up. I don't want to go to San Francisco and watch the Ford. I don't want to see that. I'm good with the Packers. I'm not worried about the Packers. Well, we'll get to the Packers if that game comes. But I obviously choose that game, right? And just let this be known as well, real quick. The Lions got a lot of new haters. Y'all know that, right? As many new bandwagon that's jumping on, random fans, man, they hate us right now, bro. And don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. The Vikings, they been in Cancun for weeks. So they just letting all their toxic hate just pour out. The Lions, boo-hoo. The Bears, they kind of have some youthful hope like the Lions had last year. So they're not too loud either. And the Packers, their team is still in the playoffs, so we don't hear them. But rest assured that our division foes and their fan bases hate our stinking guts right now, and it feels amazing.
Sure does. Next question I saw over here, guys, says, I think last week we did an amazing job of switching out our running backs. I think that's going to be key to this game. Do you agree? Adam, start us off, bud.
Yes, I do, and I don't. I do because I obviously it helped us win last week, but I don't because we could just play Montgomery the entire game and just steamroll them. We could play Gibbs the entire game and just steamroll. Either or of these running backs, are capable of just being an RB1 on pretty much, most teams right now. So we have both. I like what Campbell's been doing, kind of putting, I don't know if it's like the guy who rested the down before or the series before, or the guy who's just got the hot hand. But regardless, both running backs scored the first 2 touchdowns last week. Both running backs looked pretty dang good. Jahmyr Gibbs had a couple nice little bursts and runs, and we're really seeing what he could be made of. But ultimately, I don't think it'll be a huge key. I think it'll be, if we don't stick to it, then it is what it is. But I think we should be fine regardless.
Julius?
I mean, I think it could go either way. I mean, last week we saw think David Montgomery got like 10 more snaps than Jahmyr Gibbs. We could see Jahmyr Gibbs getting 10 more snaps against the Bucs. Jahmyr Gibbs didn't play last time we played it against the Bucs. I'm gonna keep harping back to that last game we played. So I'm excited to see him go to work on him. You know, they've been a good team stopping running backs this season. So I think this could kind of be a Jahmyr Gibbs game.
Yeah, I think it's really crucial that we continue to do this. And we've done this all year. And we've had Gibbs in on red zone attempts and goal line attempts when people are like, why isn't Montgomery in? And we've had Montgomery in on long plays on 3rd and 7 draws where it seems like it would be better fit for Gibbs. Like, you just don't know. You don't know. And this is, we talked about it before the season, that there was a potential that this was going to be Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams. And that's what we're getting. Maurice Jones-Drew came out with his top 10 running backs. We had 2 guys in the top 6. Like, that's how good these running backs are. And we do not, if David Montgomery comes out in the first drive and has 5 rushes for 48 yards and a touchdown to finish that first drive, don't send him back in. Bring Gibbs in. That the way that we can save these guys is hits, legs, everything. Like it's I can't think of the word right now because I'm sick. That's what I'm going to use my excuse as. It's imperative. That is the word I'm looking for. That we continue to run both of these running backs almost at a 50-50 split and give the defenses and other defenses, San Francisco or Green Bay, whoever's going to play us next, if we win this, when we win this, then that they don't know what running back's going to be in on this certain situation and this certain look. And we brought in 3 extra running backs, offensive linemen and tight ends, and they just don't know what's going on. I think it's so smart and deceiving and great that Ben Johnson uses the running backs like the way he has, that this is going to be the way that McCrankshank, I love this dude, it's going to be key for this game. Like, it's going to be key for this game that you utilize both of these running backs. So I'm very excited to continue to see how Ben Johnson dials up this offense. I think that's all the questions too.
I don't know, but we can honestly, you guys just want to dip. We could keep going into this Bucs game. So
we got a new question. Fuck that, Adam. Let's answer this question.
New question.
Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. I'm loving answering this question.
J-Mo did have a touchdown last time he played the Bucs. He's kind of been a little quiet ever since he's like had this, wide receiver 2 true role. He hasn't had his big splash moment. I guess he did have that one against the Cowboys, but a couple games. It's been 2-3 games. So I do think we could see J-Mo bounce back, have another splash week. Obviously, they are going to key in on Amon-Ra. He had 12 receptions for 124 yards and a touchdown last time they played, along with 15 targets. J-Mo only had 3 targets. I know one was a 50-yard touchdown bomb. So, didn't really key in on him. Won't really likely to. But the other guy that did lead the team in targets was Sam Laporta with 11. So if the similar game plan goes where it's like they're expecting Amon-Ra and Laporta, if they kind of script off of last time they played and they lock those 2 guys down, then yes, I really do think it'll be a J-Mo or a Josh Reynolds game, because we saw Josh Reynolds go 3 for 50 against the Bucs last time they played as well.
Julius?
I think I'm always waiting on a big J-Mo game, man. I'm like, at any game, any given week, I feel like J-Mo can just have the magical, bomb or end around touchdown. I kind of gave up. Remember, we had a J-Mo hot meter going off season. How it started kind of low, went up a little bit. I think I'm at about a 7 with J-Mo. Like, I still see his talent. It's just that the Lions have so many weapons ahead of him in a pecking order that you don't really know when he's going to be utilized. But, seeing the history of what he did against the Bucs earlier in the season, and he's still showing great strides as a route runner and a possession receiver. We could see it, guys. We could see it any game, like a huge explosion from J-Mo. Could be this game.
I'm not looking for a big Jameson Williams game. I would love, for sure, a big catch. I mean, I don't consider that a big Jameson Williams game if he has 3 catches, but one of them is for 60 yards. He did have a very crucial catch last week against the Rams on a comeback route that Goff hit him great, and he made a big contested catch. So it was awesome. Have you guys watched the Baldy's breakdowns? Baldy
Yeah.
breakdown, right? He does a great one on Jameson Williams. And the way he presents it is, I don't want to call Jameson Williams a decoy by any means, right? He's not a decoy because he's always got the potential, and Goff does look at him. But the reason Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta and everyone else is open so much, like Josh Reynolds, is because there's 3 guys always having eyes on Jameson Williams. Even if he's getting 1, 2, 3 catches a game, you have to understand how his speed affects the game. Like, it's crazy. So with him out there, that's a big game to me. I don't need statistics. I don't need stats. I don't need box score watchers to come to me next week and say, J-Mo's finally here. He finally did it. No, because that means you weren't watching the Lions for the first 19 weeks of this NFL season, because Jameson Williams does big game stuff without getting on the box score. And that's who he is. That's how the Lions run their offense. So to me, a big game for Jameson Williams is Amon-Ra St. Brown having 13 catches, because he's so open all the time, because there's so many eyes. Yes, again, I want one good long catch from Jameson Williams, which will just open the door even more for guys like Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta. Like we saw last time we played the Bucs, it was J-Mo's second game. He had that big catch. We saw one of the best blocks I've ever seen in the entire NFL, not from Jameson Williams, from Craig Reynolds. But that was a big game from Craig Reynolds because of that block. If Jameson Williams can do something like that on a big David Montgomery run or Jahmyr Gibbs run, that's a big game from Jameson Williams. I don't need stats from J-Mo. I just need smiles. Like, he gives us that contagious laughter and smiles that he gives us, which is amazing. Continue to have fun and continue to open the door for other players. And in due time, I know it seems crazy, and we're like 2 years in, and he was a first-round draft pick. We traded up to get him, and it shouldn't be like this, but it is. You just got to understand, this is the Lions' way. This is the way. The Mandalorian said it the best. This is the way, dude. So just let J-Mo go have a big game in his own way. In the Lions' way and Ben Johnson's way. So that's what I'm looking for from J-Mo.
I like it. You just need the production. And Nick, I think it was you. I don't know, maybe it was Julius, but hopefully both you guys saw that video where they're showing asking everyone, what's your phone screen? What's your phone screen? And J-Mo was like, J-Mo for his best game. And it was like J-Mo's second phone.
Second phone, bro. When the receiver's got a burner phone, bro, you know he's up there, dude. He's great. He's got his jersey retired in I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but on 8 Mile, like a restaurant that Jameson Williams does not need to be going to. Like, this is kind of in, this is like 8 Mile where I'm not going to. I'm just not going to this restaurant. He's got his jersey retired there because the dude's the man of the people, man. He is awesome. And yeah, he's just like, at one point in that video, Adam, he describes he's like, look at the defender. He's looking at me like, dang, this guy's burning me all day. I just started laughing. I literally tweeted, it was like, J-Mo is my hero because of this interview, right? Or because of this question asked. I love Jameson Williams.
Any other questions?
I think we're out of them. Finally.
All right.
It carried the show, baby. I really appreciate it. It was great.
Yeah, hell of a great show.
So, all right, we're playing the Bucs, boys. Let me ask you this: would you have rather been playing the Eagles, or like the Eagles, Matt Patricia, their broken offense, or are you okay with obviously the less talented Bucs, but still have something going for them?
I'm one win away from fate at every turn. Everything that happened has happened for a reason. Even the stupid stuff like the Cowboys.
It's crazy, man. We're 2 wins from the Super Bowl. Like, who would have thought? 2 wins. Look at us.
I want to answer your question. There's 2 things to answer that, in my opinion. One, the Eagles are frauds. They were frauds. They were not good. And as soon as they hired Matt Patricia or like assigned Matt Patricia to be defense coordinator, I think we all knew, everyone in fucking Michigan knew that they were sunk, dude. They were worse than the Titanic right now. They were gone. Grave was already dug. So in that aspect and getting the revenge on Matt Patricia, all that would have been fucking great. I would have loved it. However, what is our biggest bugaboo, I think, on defense? That is containing mobile quarterbacks. Sure, Baker can run around a little bit, but he ain't no Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts,
6 yards last time.
How much?
Baker, 2 carries for 6 yards.
That's about what we like. You know, that's what we kind of are going to expect out of him. Jalen Hurts would have ran on us. It would have been nice to get our revenge on Philadelphia from last year's first game of the regular season. Don't think I forgot. We should have won that game at home, but we didn't. And I wouldn't have minded my revenge on that, on Matt Patricia, all that stuff. But I am happier that we're taking on, in my opinion, a better team, Tampa Bay, but a less mobile quarterback, because those pocket quarterbacks, this is why I like our chances better against San Francisco, because if you get a pocket quarterback against this Lions defense, bad news bears for that opposing team, in my opinion. So I'm happy that we're playing the Bucs.
Yeah, and then another funny aspect, I will say, if we did play the Eagles, Darius Slay, you could bet your ass we would all booed you.
Oh,
and
fuck yeah.
I love his comment. Darius Slay commented on one of our tweets where we were commenting on him saying, "Oh, Lions fans booing Stafford, that's so lame," or something like that. And I was like, "Man, we would have booed you too. Like, get out of here." And I'm pretty sure every Lions fan had that thought. And so that Darius saw it and was like, "Well, you guys didn't boo me when I came last year." And I was like, "Bro, that was week 1 of last year, not round 1 of the playoffs. Like, Stafford was coming week 1 last year. We would all cheered him for sure."
Oh,
but
yeah.
Playoffs, man. Playoffs, I want blood. I want them coming for your throat. I don't care. And then, so it's like, that was funny little banter. Hopefully he comments on some more stuff. But yeah, it would have been a nice little, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson also getting some revenge too. But hey, Bucs, I don't care. Like you said, Julius, I don't care who we're playing. I just want an opponent. I just want to beat someone. I just want to move on. So I guess with that being said, Nick, what's one of the biggest key to victory, and then round it up with a score prediction?
Boy.
Prediction at the end.
What a great show. What a great show. We're on to our score predictions.
And also before we get out of here, I do want to touch on that Rams game last week. Because we did our
let's
show.
Let's do that before we give our score predictions.
Okay, all right, fine. So I've been so excited to talk about this game. I was like, damn it. Someone posted a question here, and I jumped right in the Bucs game. I totally forgot to talk about the best win in Lions history, potentially. So, yeah, last week I was at the game, me and my dad, absolutely phenomenal. Shout out Go Blue Lexi for the tickets. It was just a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I do feel like this weekend we'll recreate, but there was just a little bit, I feel like, difference where it was just the first, the first playoff game. Obviously, next game could be the first divisional game, whatever. But the atmosphere, the intensity when we got in and Jared Goff was out there and they started the Jared Goff chants. They asked Goff, "Have you ever heard your name called like that?" He said no. And I don't blame him, or, obviously. And I thought about it for a second. I was like, man, if I heard 65,000 plus people chanting my name, could you imagine the confidence? Just like oh my God, I'm that dude. Oh my God, dude. Everyone had goosebumps, chills. It was just emphatic. It was awesome. Then Stafford comes out and we're all booing him. And then
booed his wife, booed his kids.
That was so dumb. And then I don't know if you guys saw her little follow-up. She's like, "I know you guys might have been booing me, but my kids don't know the difference. So you can't boo me if I'm with my kids." I'm like,
dude, Karen Stafford is the worst person in the world, dude.
That was the one thing where Stafford left. I was like, oh, all right.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
We'll take Christine Harper any day.
I was just about to say Christine Harper.
Brad Holmes knew we were going to become the villains, bro.
Yep, he did. He called
honestly.
it. Mm-hmm.
And then also diving into something we already kind of talked about, Kirby Joseph, man. Right when he made that hit, I told my dad, I was like, oh no, Twitter's about to blow up, calling this dude dirty, calling him a bad guy. But it's like anyone of their own team, of their own player, would stand up for their no, that's a legal hit. He didn't get fined, he didn't get a penalty. He did what he had to do. But just because it was against your guy, or just because you watched it against another guy, didn't have any, thing towards the game or whatever. But you got to do what you got to do in that situation. Kirby Joseph isn't thinking this full. All right, let me get to his, right under his ribs. I gotta, go high right now. Gotta keep my, it's football. You guys are playing football. They're not playing, a pillow, lie down, tuck in the, the receiver. It's I have to make this dude drop the ball at all costs. And that was Kirby's mentality, and that's what Kirby Joseph did. So I don't care if he's going straight for your legs. The NFL says, hey, you could do it. Then Kirby Joseph, keep on doing it.
Yeah. Julius, you want to talk about the Rams game?
No, I'm ready for the Bucs, baby. I'm ready to beat the Bucs. Matter of fact, you want me to give you my score prediction to start off?
Not yet. Hold on. Let me talk about the Rams real quick.
Talk about the Rams. Yeah.
Kirby Joseph is not dirty. It's a legal hit. Toughen the fuck up, everyone else. If the NFL wants to play flag football, that's great. Put flags on them. We'll start watching flag football. There's no one that'll probably stop watching football if they make it flag and not tackle. It just is what it is. Everyone loves football. Who cares? But right now it's tackle football. They don't want you to go for the head. You got to go low. If you have a safety trying to tackle a 250-pound tight end coming at you, he's going to go low. He's going to go for your legs. Matt Stafford shouldn't have thrown that ball. There's a lot like that. We saw that, and then we saw the screenplay of them going for Sam Laporta's knee, right? But Laporta had the wherewithal to get out of the way almost. But it was also because Jared Goff threw him a ball where he was able to catch it, turn around, and do it. Stafford shouldn't have thrown that ball. Don't come running at your guy. One of the best videos on that on the internet was him making a play. Stafford making a pass completion, looking at Hutch and yelling, "Let's go," or "woo," or whatever the fuck he says. And Hutch and then it's like, I think it's Kobe who says he's like, "That's when I knew it was personal," or whatever. And Hutch just put him on his ground. Freaking concussed Stafford. I really do love Stafford. I am not I love Stafford. I still do. I did during that week. I was just not going to show it. I'm a Lions fan. I'm not a Stafford fan. I'm the Lions fan. But if next year we're out of the playoffs and Stafford is in, I still would root for the Rams and Stafford. I really do love him. I have 2 of his jerseys. I love him. But it was so great to see Hutch just get him on the ground time after time after time after time. Fuck it. The Rams game was crazy. I had never felt that kind of emotion in my life. My wife, who watched one game this year, and that was last week's game, was bawling at the end of it. We saw Julius. Well, we didn't see it, but he sent us a video of him shedding some tears of happiness.
Tears of joy, yes.
And that's because we saw the fan in the crowd whose dad passed away. He was crying. There was multiple people crying in disbelief. I was nuts. It was nuts. It was something I couldn't fathom experiencing, and I'm super happy that we did. And then we won, and that was great. Jared Goff got his revenge. He had the entire city on his back, right? Adam, you brought up hearing his name being chanted. It gives you, it's I'm that dude. I'm that dude. What that tells me is oh fuck, I have 65,000 plus people relying on me. That is the entire and more. That is the entire state of Michigan and any other fan that ever once believed and hoped for the Lions. And now that we've talked about at the beginning of the show, worldwide, you have all these fans looking at you. And to break the curse, it was amazing. But the job's not done. And that's what David Montgomery, who gave me the best post-game interview, didn't smile, didn't do anything, just says, yeah, we won. But the job ain't done. I don't give a fuck about that first one. He didn't say that. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. But he says, we need to keep going. This job is not done. And that's exactly right. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, what do we call him now? CD Deuce. What is his name now?
Yeah, CD Deuce.
CD Deuce. I can't keep track of these guys' names anymore. He says before the game or after the game, they didn't bring me in here to win a playoff game. They brought me in here to win the fucking Super Bowl. And that is not a paraphrase. So that's what we're looking for. You see my name. 3 more wins. Not we won a division, we won a playoff game, right? It shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be let's win a divisional game. It's let's go win the fucking Super Bowl. Let's upset San Fran. Why not us? Right? Detroit versus everybody. So the Rams game was great. It was great. It was great. That's all I have to say about it. Let me know.
I didn't realize the question at hand.
Okay.
Now, I just want to say that night, because for me, it was very in the middle of the night here in Germany. I was all alone in my dark living room, bro.
Yeah, remind
And
everyone, what time was it?
it was the game started for me at around 2:30. I forgot when the kickoff was, and it ended around 5. You know what I'm saying? On a Sunday. Luckily, the next day was MLK Day. I was off. You know, I'm not always that lucky since I've been here, but I was lucky that night. And I just want to mention that game was very emotional towards the end because it was close. The way they won the game, it wasn't just like they just stomped on Stafford's neck and the game, you know, we were comfortable, you know, like a quarter going into the quarter, we weren't worried. I was stressed, bro. I might have been the most stressed I've been as a Lions fan. You know how many stressed Lions games we done went through? It was like a 3-minute span in that fourth quarter. I think when Stafford and them had the ball last, where I was like, holy shit. You know, it was almost like a PI flag that didn't happen, you know, against the Lions, which I am happy because we get, you know, we deserve it. But bro, was I stressed, man. And not even the dead still in the middle of the night was going to hold me back from that experience. I was right there with y'all. I was right there with the tens of thousands, the hundreds of thousands of Lions fans all over the world in that emotion. You know, I just thought about everybody that wasn't there anymore. You know, that's what you think about, man, because your life flashed before your eyes when this happens. When the Lions win a playoff game, your life flashed before your eyes. And that's what the country needs to realize, what Lions fans, we're still going through that. You know, that's like a positive traumatic experience what we had, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have PTSD in a good way, and the Bucs are going to feel it. We ready to do our predictions?
Yeah. Who wants to start?
Let's go. I was not ready to get on the spot like this.
I'll start.
You go, Nick.
I'll start. So the question before we got back into the Rams is, what's one key to victory, and what is our score prediction? I'm going to start with the key to victory. And this is how this is my key. My key to victory is doing what we've done all season long, which is contain the run. Stop the run. Do not let Rachaad White break anything. Keep him grounded and make Baker fucking Mayfield on his 4th fucking team after being drafted number 1 overall, damn near kicked out of the league, okay, because he was so bad. Make him beat you, because he can't. He just can't. I'm sorry. Like, did you see some of those touchdowns he threw against Philadelphia? They were the worst thrown balls I've ever seen in my life. Just poorly guarded by Philadelphia because Matt Patricia doesn't know how to run a defense.
Well, the Eagles couldn't even tackle, man. There were 2 touchdowns where the one receiver, David Moore, he like ran to the right. 2 Eagles guys ran into each other, and then the dude like doesn't wrap up, and then he keeps going. It's like,
have you seen that video online? It's like a high school kid, number 3, is trying to contain the edge, and he runs out to the side, and then the guy runs in.
That was the Eagles, bro. That was the entire. They're just
exactly what it was.
Like, yeah, what? Exactly. What was that?
So just contain Rachaad White. Don't let this be the random game that a running back has 150 yards against us, because if that happens, I don't like our chances, honestly. So my one key, even though there's a plethora of things that we need to do right to win this game and get to the NFC Championship game, my biggest one is just to do what we've been doing, and that is contain the run and make Baker Mayfield. If we lose because Baker Mayfield throws 485 yards and 6 touchdowns and doesn't have an incomplete pass, like, you tip your hat to him, dude. Sure, we can complain about our secondary at that point, but you just tip your hat, dude. That's a great fucking game by Baker. I don't think he has it in him. So that's my key, and I'll get to my score prediction. I think a lot of people think it'll be a high scoring game. I'm going to go a little bit on the opposite side of it. I'm going Detroit Lions 26, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 17. 9-point victory, covers the spread, and 26-19, 45. What's the over-under? Is it 44.5? Do we know? I think that's 41. So I think it's over there. So I think I'm taking the under, and I'm taking the Lions to cover.
It's 49.5.
Yeah, so I'm taking the under, and I'm taking the Lions to cover the spread of 6.5. So give me 26-19, or what did I say? 26-17 Lions.
So over-unders. these could go wild ways. I made a foolish mistake. I live bet the over when the Lions scored. There was like 2 touchdowns. I think it was the
14-3.
Lions scored, the Rams scored, and then the Lions scored again. And then I bet the over, and it was like at 50 something. Well, then the Rams scored again. Then the Lions scored again, and literally it was like 21 to like 14, 21-13 maybe, or 20. It was high scoring game in the first quarter. And the point spread was at 71.5. And I thought to myself, I should probably bet the under. I could probably find a nice middle here. Didn't do it. Was just too caught up in the game. So, oh well. But, even if this game gets off to a hot start, the under definitely could still hit. We've seen this with Aaron Glenn. I mean, Nick, you've shown me the light. You've shown me the way of Aaron Glenn where it's like, no. Let's kind of dive into it. Really look deep. And sure as shit, if you look into these like analytical numbers of the Lions, they're 16th on DVOA. They are, only held the Rams to 6 points in the second half. So, Rams score a touchdown. It's an overtime game. So hats off to Aaron Glenn for that. And I do think the Lions will adjust in the second half, lock down the Bucs. I'm going to go 27-13. I literally think it'll be like 20-10 at halftime. Bucs might get a field goal, but I think the Lions will control most of the game. 27-13 Lions. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, Jokes. Key to victory. I agree with you, Nick. Stopping Rachaad White. We did it perfectly last time we played. 7 carries, 26 yards. You can even toss in Keyshawn Vaughn, who had 6 carries, 9 yards. So we shut down the run game and just shut down the run game and, stop Baker Mayfield because he had 1 interception, 200 yards, just did not look good. And I agree, Nick. Baker Mayfield, if you want to go out and have your game of your career, 350 yards, all right, can't do nothing about it. But do I think that'll happen? No. So suffocate Baker, stop that run, 27-13, go Lions.
All right. My key to victory, I'm going to start it off, is the city of Detroit.
I'm going to be there. Adam's going to be there. We're going to help, bro.
The Bucs don't know what they got coming for them in that building tomorrow afternoon, night for me. It's going to be lit. And the Lions, they didn't play the Lions. I'm going to go back to the last time they played them. There were different teams. They don't know the Lions team that's about to hit with Jahmyr Gibbs in a healthy offensive line. That I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to predict this is not going to stress me out in the fourth quarter like the Rams. It's going to be a celebration in downtown Detroit because the Lions are going to win by a score of 42-10. Baker Mayfield going to be rattled from the very beginning. Aaron Glenn, who's trying to win a head coaching job right now, is going to bring the motherfucking heat. Baker Mayfield is going to get off. We're going to shut down the run. I smell turnovers. I smell a huge Hutchinson game. I smell a huge Laporta game. I think it's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a celebration. We're going to be watching the Packers and the Niners and seeing if we're doing it for a third time. It's going to get even litter. Big time win, Lions.
Woo! And then also, too, another thing that Lions fans are getting a little worried about is these interviews going on. Oh, Aaron Glenn, Saturday night. Ben Johnson, Saturday night. Both got 2 interviews, Titans, Falcons, blah, blah, blah. Well, the Lions, they know this, man. The rule's so stupid. You shouldn't be able to interview a coordinator until your team's eliminated or the bye week before the Super Bowl. But ultimately, it is what it is. So the Lions know this is coming. Ben Johnson knows what's at stake. I guarantee he is not prepping for these interviews. He is just going to them. He's just showing up and just going to be whatever. He's showing up. He's not like, oh, I got to get my notes together. I got to, look up my best games. I got to write, some stuff. I got to, do this. No, he doesn't. I don't think, at least. He is focused on this Lions game, getting this Lions win. Everyone, this whole team saw what it meant to this city. And they know not to look ahead, not to think, oh, Baker Mayfield and the Bucs, this is a bad team. Stay focused. They know, just get this win no matter what, and that's it.
Hell yeah.
But, boys, as always, go.
Lions!